Saludos a todos, bienvenidos a Martínez, bienvenidos una vez más a Disco Elysium. Continuamos nuestras aventuras de los detectives desde donde lo dejamos en el sótano del centro comercial, del antiguo centro comercial de Martínez. Estamos detrás del misterio de la maldición que ha hecho caer a todos los puestos de tiendas en la ruina. Otro ruido. Bueno, ya terminamos de revisar la primera zona. Nos golpeamos bastante con una puerta de metal tratando de abrirla, pero no tuvimos suerte. Así que vamos a la siguiente zona. Bueno, estuve trabajando el evento de Mahouka hoy día un poco, solamente avancé unos 10 minutos, ya que he estado ocupado con otro proyecto de Idol Master. Y bueno, creo que este paso sí lo voy a terminar para el 11 de septiembre, puede ser, 10 de septiembre. Es que es demasiado largo. Y aparte, tengo que arreglarlo. Todavía no sé si esta última versión de la editación ha quedado bastante bien para que la entiendan todos, porque ha habido mucha gente que ha estado confusa con la editación de las primeras dos partes, en el sentido en que no le gustó el sistema de la novela y que había partes que la cortaba. Pero esa parte que corté fue porque no, ya era un evento simultáneo, pues, o sea, las partes que estaban en Majoka ya estaban repitiéndose en Tower Mayuxo, así que simplemente la copié, la corté nomás. Bueno, empezamos a revisar las cosas por acá. Dinero, magnesio. Magnesio para curarme la moral. ¿Qué es esto de acá?
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost and the bear's eyes are glowing red. This ice bear is a hyper carnivore. Be careful. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy?
¿Qué es esta cosa? Parece. ¿Qué es esta cosa? Parece un oso polar gigante.
The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A sharp slice of light shines out from its mysterious belly door.
Forcemos la entrada.
A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Tranquilo, Kim, solo es una nevera.
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge.
Parece que a Kim le tiene un poco de fobia a los osos.
Let's take a look inside.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
Coger la nota.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
Examinar los envoltorios de lado.
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge.
Oye, si vas a vender helados de oso polar, ¿por qué no haces tu diseño más para niños? Si ese es tu público objetivo, ¿cómo se te ocurre usar un oso polar esto real? ¿Se puede saber qué narices hace una nevera con forma de oso en un sótano abandonado?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
O sea, que intentaban vender helado con esta nevera.
I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice.
Oye, de verdad que estos no han ido nunca a la universidad, ¿no?
What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
Ah,
The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic.
Bueno, sí, pues una congeladora consume bastante. Cerramos la puerta. Revisemos por acá. Es una máquina de helados enchufada descongelándose. ¿Qué tenemos más por acá? Kim, permiso, por favor. ¿Qué es esto? La linterna proyecta una sombra extraña. Hay una puerta oculta. Oh, misterio. ¿Podemos ir por acá? Un par de rifles escondidos sobre tuberías. Están oxidados. Parecen inservibles. Rifles. Es una armería. Son rifles de caza. O rifles revolucionarios.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
¿Dónde estamos?
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
Mira, hay un agujero en la pared.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Examinar los rifles.
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others.
Jackpot. Encontramos uno bueno.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
¿Por qué estaría este rifle aquí escondido?
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find.
Aquí le mueldan bastante las armas clásicas y las máquinas. En un techo falso. Vale. Interesante. Nos encontramos un rifle. Revisémoslo a ver. Rifle Pele Magre antiguo. Vaya que tiene buena pinta. Un maltrecho Pele Magre de una época pasada. Es un fusil militar de acción de perno de 4 disparos con estructura de madera. Tal vez podremos repararlo. Pero es un rifle. Un rifle de los viejos. Ahora tenemos armas modernas, ¿no? No le veo mucho sentido. Vamos más por acá. La pared se derrumbó, no se puede pasar. ¿Y esto qué
A
es?
thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
Mirar dentro de la caldera.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other.
What are you doing?
No estoy seguro, Kim, pero creo que hay alguien arriba hablando.
Wait, really? Maybe it's coming from behind those safety curtains we saw upstairs.
Ah, así es como se abre la puerta.
We should ask the lady in the bookstore what's going on with these curtains.
Embaudarte las manos de carbón.
A lush layer of coal now covers your skin, sinking into the wrinkles. Your hands look ancient. Maybe you could paint something with this coal. Leave a cave painting for future archaeologists. No, that would be stupid.
Abstracción, ¿qué querías hacer? Parecía que querías pintarte de algo. Bueno, démosle una patada.
A hollow ring echoes through the
Me voy a morir.
furnace. Your
Me voy a
toe
morir.
hurts.
¿Qué es esta cosa, King?
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire.
Vale, no hay mucho que hacer. Casi me mato. Es una máquina helada congelada que todavía funciona. Y acá. Dinero. No sé, lo que necesito. Oh, sí.
2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
Desenchufemos el clave rojo.
An electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now.
Ahora el negro.
Something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Why did you do that?
Es el negro ni que fuera el rojo. Y yo qué sé, a veces hago las cosas por hacer.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Camiseta de rejilla. Ya tiene ahí. Los cables de intercomunicación conectan con el cuadro eléctrico. Así que había uno. A ver. Habían dos máquinas. ¿Será por acá? Más dinero. A ver, a ver, a ver. A través de la ventana ve los pies de la gente pasando por la calle. Y nada más. A ver, ¿qué me dice?
Both cables are unplugged from the breaker box.
Enchufar el cable negro.
Somewhere, a machine hums along with the current, happy and content.
A ver.
The bear's eyes are dead and empty. Ice inside.
No hay nada más.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
Acá no hay nada más. A ver, probemos una vez más esto con darle patada, pero antes de morirme quiero grabar una guardada rápida.
A thick layer of coal dust, a hollow ring. You feel something in your chest, an unnatural pressure. It's spreading to your left arm, your jaw.
Ay, parece que de verdad me morí, pero es solamente... Todavía me quedaba uno de vida. Supongo que esto es malo.
Very, very bad. This is the end. Bad.
Intentar permanecer consciente.
All you feel is pain and weakness. You have to surrender now. We all do. It gets so dark.
Ay, carambas. De verdad se nos murió.
Cop suffers final heart attack. A detective lieutenant of the RCM passed away yesterday. His death, though abrupt, did not come as a surprise to those who knew him. He was the heaviest drinker I'd ever met. Captain Ptolemy Price, the deceased superior officer, commented, "That ain't easy on the ticker." He loved his liquor, sure, said Detective Chester McLean, friend and colleague. But I think before he ever had a heart attack, his heart was broken. According to an official statement given by the RCM, the officer was on the brink of solving a murder case.
Nos maltó una caldera. Pero lo extraño es que, o sea, ¿cómo hacemos entonces para abrir la persiana? O sea, supongo que no se puede hacer, pues, o sea...
A thick layer of coal.
O sea, la segunda... Pero la primera patada que yo le di... Solamente... A ver, mira por
It's
la
dark.
What are you doing?
Oigo la voz del vecino ahorcado.
Wait, really? Maybe we should ask the lady in the bookstore what's going on with these curtains.
Vale, King. Esa era la idea. Esa era la maldita idea. No me había saltado esa conversación antes. Y casi me mato. Y acá no hay nada más. O sea, acá dice que hay dos cables.
Only the black cable is plugged into the breaker box, while the red one lies neglected on the floor.
Chucha, el cable rojo.
Somewhere in the dark, an electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now. Something close to you died.
Why did you do that?
Porque el negro es como el cosmo del color del cosmo inmesurable.
The lieutenant raises.
Bueno, no hay nada más, parece. Que habían dos máquinas. Supuestamente deben de haber dos máquinas. No es ninguna de estas. Por acá no estará tampoco. No, no hay nada. Qué extraño. Bueno. Entonces salgamos por acá. Porque supongo que aquí está el comunicador, pues. Que menciona que está el comunicador. Así es como sale en la pantalla de Game Over. Pero qué extraño, ¿eh? La caldera al inicio solamente me hizo un golpe, solamente bajó una vida. Y esta me bajó en la 2. Bueno, hablemos con la señora de la librería, capaz nos dé más pistas. Muerte por un infarto. Que tenía el corazón roto antes inclusive. Parecía que el desmorío del pobre hombre ya era popular antes de venir a Martínez. O sea, no es este desmorío que tenía el caballero. No era algo que sucedió en Martínez, que se desenvolvió acá. El hombre gemendal del fuego. Este hombre gemendal, todo eso. Ok, su episodio de desmorío entonces tiene tiempo. 1 año, 2 años, quién sabe. Los desmoríos de pareja, los rompimientos, mejor dicho, cuando son rápidos simplemente se olvidan rápidamente. Pero cuando son tiempo, o sea, la relación tarda un tiempo en romperse. Estos a veces duran la etapa de recuperación entre la pareja, o sea, entre cada uno para que se vaya por su lado dura más tiempo. Es lo que me dicen mis amigos.
You broke down the back door, the wards, the door. It's all gone now. Dark psychic energy leeching onto my shop.
A veces es necesario recurrir a medidas desesperadas.
I suppose it's all over now. I guess there's no escape.
¿De qué está hablando? Solo es una simple puerta.
Just a door? This place is cursed, detective. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Just look at the sheer amount of companies that have failed in this house. I hope you're happy now. Happy that you've ruined everything. Now that you've broken the door, the curse is coming to get me as well.
Maldita, creo que lo de la maldición era un cuento para niños.
Of course you didn't. You're nothing but a policeman. All right. You know what? I'm willing to let you investigate the doomed commercial area. We are set on the path. There's little else to do.
Ya la investigué.
Her facade has dropped. Now you see the curiosity behind the fear.
Ahora que ya lo he investigado, capaz de salte de frente la conversación.
But before we go on, tell me, did you encounter the malignant entity?
Oh, no lo creo.
Yes, the malignant entity that lives inside the chimney. It takes the shape of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she knows more about the curse than she lets on ever since I first saw her.
Se refiere a la chimenea que sale del horno central, de ahí salen voces, las he oído.
Yes, I've heard that. It's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains upstairs. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. And do return to me after you've talked to it. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse.
If you're really interested in cracking this mystery, then we should go back to the furnace. Maybe you could yell into it or something. Make some noise.
Despite his cool, the lieutenant's interested in solving this mystery too.
Ay, señora. Ay, maldita sea. Y yo me he matado por esta vaina, literalmente. Bueno, volvamos a la vaina ya. Simplemente no puedes haber gritado aquí de frente, decir todo. O sea, intentemos todo. ¿Por qué tener que volver con esta loca? Ay, Dios mío. Esa imagen de que se murió mi estimado Harry me asustó. Volvamos. Acá está. ¿Quién más debería subir ahora? La partida de puntos. Umbral del dolor. Nos faltaba examinar el cadáver con más detalle. Y otro aspecto que también quiero saber es sobre cruzar el puente. Ya debe estar arreglado, supongo. A ver.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring.
Forma física. Necesitamos forma física. Pongámonos las chandelas, las ropas. Ahí está. Vamos, forma física, no me traiciones ahora.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace,
Ya le di
coloring
una
it
patada.
pitch
Señora,
black.
hable, hola.
Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hola, ¿estás ahí? No, policía, ¿quién anda ahí?
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
Gracias.
you hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
Ay, Dios mío, soy un idiota para abrir las puertas. ¿Por qué siempre tengo que golpearlas? No puedo esperar simplemente esto. La moraleja del episodio es nunca golpear puertas. Ahora que lo pienso, creo que en el primer capítulo había golpeado la puerta del hotel y también me había hecho daño. Al parecer no soy muy bueno cuidando mi cuerpo físico, pero sí soy bueno cuidando mi moral. ¿Qué era? Pasamos. Wow. Han reconvertido la máquina caramelos en surtidor de dados. Alberga centenares. Una bandeja llena de dados poliédricos de colores. Hay cientos de ellos.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius.
Señora.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Un momento, ¿qué quiere decir con Mileus?
Yes, a Mili is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
¿Por qué me preguntas por dados?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bones light, but her hands strong. Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Por supuesto, me flipan los juegos de rol y necesito unos dados.
Very good. My rate is 10 real per set, unless you want something really unusual. Take a look around and see if there is any particular stone you want to use.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room. This person means you, or no one else, absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly.
Vale. ¿Sabes algo sobre el hombre al que lincharon detrás de William Rux?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
¿Sueles trabajar los domingos por la noche?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it. And I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
¿Nunca te paras a mirar por la ventana?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
It's light here, but dark in the yard at night.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
Y lo de jaleo diario me imagino con Kuno ahí afuera. Gracias.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
¿Cómo es que te hiciste artesana de dados?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
¿Eres aficionada a los juegos de rol?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Vale, me encantaría encargarte un dado.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
O sea, un dado que sea como yo. Busco algo que me ayude en mi trabajo. ¿Conoces el Winrad Hunter? Tienes un dado maldito. Busco algo que me ayude en mi trabajo.
I think I have just the right one for you.
Police colors.
Porque soy un agente de policía, ¿no?
Not the most original, I know. But sometimes the obvious choice is obvious because it's best.
Bien dicho.
Here, catch. They're a gift from me.
Oh, por Dios. Coordinación. No me falles. No me falles. No me falles. No me falles.
Mr. Smooth moves. You snatch the dice out of the air with one hand, just like you're in a movie.
No decir nada, actuar como si yo le hubiera hecho un millar de veces, sí, lo seguro.
What are the odds? The red one is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay, and the blue one is the inverse. Think of them as your lucky charm, officer.
Gracias.
She smiled at you. She smiled. You truly are Mr. Smooth Moves.
Sí, no sé qué virgen se había apiadado de mí y me ayudó en esto.
You definitely need luck in Martinez. Was there anything else?
¿Dónde estamos? ¿Qué es este sitio?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Creative.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses.
Tengo entendido que este sitio está maldito. ¿Eres consciente de que la gente se refiere a este lugar como la zona comercial maldita?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
Me envía Plaince. Está empecinada con lo que este sitio está plagado de energías malévolas.
Plaisance, the bookshop
Plaisance.
lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow?
En realidad la librería no le va bien también, casi no tiene clientes. A ver. Casi no tienen clientes y tiene que explotar a su propia eje para intentar que el negocio siga en marcha.
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in racks? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
Un momento, William Rag forma parte de la zona comercial maldita.
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the east of the Commerce Central project.
No, a William tampoco le va especialmente bien. La camarera dejó su trabajo y los clientes no pagan la factura, excepto yo.
And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Seguro.
It's because she's in cahoots with the demons.
Distinto. Voy a ser el primero en admitir que hay muchísimas inconsistencias con esta supuesta maldición.
I was just about to ask, what do you think? Do you think the curse is real?
Cuando algo te sale mal, puedes pensar que tienes mala suerte. Cuando algo te sale bien, puedes pensar que tienes buena suerte.
The jig is up. The she-demon knows you've uncovered her true identity.
Empiezo a pensar que no hay maldición, solo hay decisiones comerciales y fluctuaciones naturales del mercado.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring.
Cuando tomamos una decisión y algo sale mal, a veces echamos mala culpa sin ponernos a pensar que ha salido mal. Y luego está el gacha. Y Genshin Impact.
But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
Plaisance is not going to like what you have to tell her.
¿Sabes qué ocurrió con el resto de inquilinos? Aquí no queda nadie más.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Solía haber una peluquería cerca de aquí, ¿verdad?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
You wouldn't like it either. The others would laugh at you. A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad. It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence.
Soy un hombre sencillo, no tengo una opinión formada acerca de los cortes de pelo.
Me neither. I just want it off my face.
¿A qué viene esa ventana? ¿A qué viene tanta ventana rota? Cuno.
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right?
Ok.
Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff medias. Who would have guessed? And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Bien bonitos los de los escombros, pero ¿qué leche es eso, mi Snuff?
It's a Sub Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
What does she mean to get off on it?
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Ah, ya, menos mal.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
¿Había algún taxidermista en el edificio? He visto un montón de animales disecados por ahí.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
But what drugs exactly?
¿Y qué clase de drogas? Es para mi informe policial.
He got high on some weird taxidermy chemicals.
Ah.
I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Eventually, they caused him to lose control of his bladder. The smell was awful.
Even you can probably do better than that.
Me topé con unos maniquíes bastante tétricos.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
Activista por los derechos de los insectos, pero ¿qué?
The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings.
Wow.
And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
Me alegra cuidar. Me alegra saber que alguien se cuida de esos pequeñines. Me encantan los insectos mientras no estén metidos acá en mi cuarto, en mi rona.
Really? Anyway,
Me topé con una máquina rarísima.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio. They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
¿Qué ocurrió?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
¿Y cómo salió mal?
Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
¿En serio? Debían tener un ego gigantesco.
That's what I thought. Because when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep up new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic, and to show up to work on time.
Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult, especially if you've been drinking.
Tiene razón, deberían haberse esforzado más. Tenían todo lo necesario para triunfar.
Still, not everyone is going to make it. That's the nature of the game.
Lanzar un par de dados, ¿ah? Como Goblin Slayer.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die.
Anything else?
En el sótano había un sofisticado que me daba mucho yuyu.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
¿Cuáles?
Indeed, what were the other ideas?
¿Y cuáles eran las otras?
There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
What?
Sounds like she really didn't like those girls. Fritta does the same thing.
Yo conozco una chica así, le viene en el frit y déjame decirte que no es precisamente el alma de la fiesta.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Revachol ICT. And they already had the bear.
¿Y qué pasó con el oso?
The bear.
No salió bien, obviamente.
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents apiece, out of regular fridges.
Me cargué al oso. Tenía que morir.
You did what?
Lo desenchufé la nevera para ayudar a la ciudad helada de Revachol a reducir sus gastos.
Ah, of course they left it plugged in. Even in death, the bear is costing them money. The taxidermist who made it said it was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherion.
Sounds cool.
Suena genial, pero no es práctico.
Scary, but cool.
¿Qué es una aparición de animal? No, todo eso está bien, pero ya vale con lo dicho. Esos Ya apareció un animal. Vamos, la última.
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
O sea, el taxidermista de acá que era trabajar acá fue el que hizo.
A wise and noble beast, guiding you toward the land where the streets are paved with drugs.
Drogas no me firmo ni desmiento.
Understandable. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
Outside it's light. Light scatters from the low-hanging.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
Encontré el intercomunicador, pero parece que no funciona.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
¿Y cuál es el tuyo?
The one with an empty name card. It's the last one in the list. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
Tengo otra pregunta, Servicio.
Sure, I'm listening.
¿Qué fue del gimnasio?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
A jugar por los críos con los que me he topado hasta ahora, imagino que no se lo ve muy bien.
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
Seguro fue Kuno.
You should have known it.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
De hecho, tengo otras preguntas. Ya dejémoslo que el tema del edificio. Creo que ya
Good.
podemos.
I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
Vámonos un ratito. Escalofríos. ¿Podemos mejorarlo? Escalofríos, 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 escalofríos. A ver, ¿cómo podemos trabajar escalofríos? Pam, 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 pam. Escalofríos, 4%. Ventaja por objetos 1.
Oh,
Vamos con
it's you
escalofríos.
again. Are you
Una
looking
vez.
for a die?
¿Por qué sigue empieza su negocio?
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm
Déjalo
in here.
estar.
She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools with a dirty kerchief. The tool's sharp edge shining.
Preguntaremos después, pero ya tenemos todo. Ujú. Ahora que lo pienso, el timbre no lo he probado. Lo probaré después. Muy bien, muy bien, muy bien. Al final no era nada. Aunque eso es por qué su trabajo sigue tanto tiempo. Me da... Aquí hay algo más detrás de esta maldición. Pero por lo menos ya podemos calmar a la señora y decirle que no hubo nada. Y tal vez encontrar el libro sobre mi ave espiritual. La cacatúa. Tal vez podamos ver el cadáver. ¿Quién sabe? Ya está. Señora, no hay nada.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be teachings in them.
Estuve con la entidad de la que me habló. Se llama Neja, fábrica de dados artesanales.
A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
No es ni hechicera ni entidad malévola. Es como una empresaria tal como usted.
I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
She's squeezing on the pendant too tight. A drop of blood in her palm. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty is killing her.
Dice que no hay ninguna maldición, que hay demasiadas inconsistencias.
Too many inconsistencies. What kind of talk is that?
Como como le he dicho, fábrica de dados, su negocio ya lleva un buen tiempo en pie.
Yes, because her business consists of the psychic leech that's been feeding the curse. I see that you've fallen for her manipulation, Detective. The investigation is over. I just hope that you haven't... Thank you for nothing. Please, do buy some books, or be on your way.
Wow. Total psychic collapse between you two right now.
I am sorry we had to disappoint you, ma'am. Can we go now?
Tengo par sobre una maldición.
Okay, but please, only a few questions.
¿Por qué
You
no-
wouldn't want to disturb the spirits.
¿Por qué no me dijo directamente que se trata de una maldición?
It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, it's dangerous.
Wow. Void raves. You have new words. Such raves may prove a formidable enemy.
¿Has
Yes,
vocabilidad?
I've contacted numerous parapsychologists, and even a pair of simony. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the
¿Y
building.
su colgante es un
Even though
amuleto
now I
protector?
fear. Oh, this! No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%.
¿Quién me puede contárselos a la huerta de la puerta trasera? ¿También son un origen seminense?
Yes, the Simonees are very crafty, and their wards are extremely powerful. Lesser wards simply won't do here.
¿Y cómo se manifiesta la maldición?
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
Eso es todo, me esperaba algo más paranormal.
But officer, there's nothing natural about entire companies declaring bankruptcy. I'm talking about cacodemons, feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived.
Da
The
igual.
woman looks
Ay, señora. Bueno, no quiere creer. Ah, es su problema. Revisemos lo del libro de la cacatúa. ¿Dónde están las biografías? Este es...
shelves full of biographies of famous people.
Sí, eras este.
Shelves full of
Oficiales.
biographies of famous. Browsing through all the books with all their names makes your head spin. None of these seem important or relevant. Suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love, the tragic true love story of Jacob Irv and Alfie Delatraz.
¿De qué trata?
By High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of the finest tip-top tourney racers in history. One of them is the madcap driver, Jacob Irv. His blonde mane graces the cover. Next to Irv's life story, you see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called the Anti-Star. He's famous for shooting morphine into one of his eyeballs. Next to that, Revacholian radio personality Guillaume Bevy stands in front of a rundown drug den. He's a permanent fixture on Channel 8, reporting on real-life crime and ruining cops' days.
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for free.
She understands she has erred against the customer and
I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are browsing.
Vale, entonces no sé, será este entonces.
shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring the
A ver. Ahí a ver es la delicada. La hemos dicho que encontramos una. Encontrar. Dijo que estaba arriba. ¿Estás segura que está arriba?
Hello again, esteemed. A book about cockatoos? There should be one upstairs.
Pero yo revisé el de biografías y no hay nada. Y este es el mapas. Este es el mapa, ya lo vimos antes.
several maps. The maps look old and
A ver, veamos acá en la primera opción.
shelves
I would say. The Greatest Innocence. Yes, most certainly. It's an important educational tool, delving into the depths of history,
Genial, no necesito saber nada
religion.
más.
shelves full of biographies of famous people, whoever they are.
Libro de la inocencia. No, no pasa nada. Ah, este es chiquitito.
A
Brown.
sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover, its beak slightly open. It looks as if the bird is calling out the book title, From A to Zurich, a guide to a well-behaved cockatoo.
Ojear las páginas.
Turns out that there are so many different cockatoo species, and they all have behavioral problems. You don't have behavioral problems. That's garbage. You're cool.
¿Qué me puede decir de esta guía sobre cacatúas?
It's a must-have if you own a cockatoo. I've heard they're quite capricious.
Escrutinio tendrá el opresivo. Conectividad. No estás tan mal, ¿no? Pam, 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 pam. Irte. Conectividad. No. Probemos. Es
A
válido.
sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover. You wait for the storekeeper to be distracted. When she's not looking, you haul the tome of cockatoos into your pocket. It's quite a challenge, but eventually, the guide to the cockatoos is yours.
Tenemos el libro de las cacatúas. Bueno, es algo. Y Annette, ya para terminar esta de la librería, por...
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
necesitamos manipulación. Nada más. Podemos volver después. Cuando mejoremos manipulación. Pero ahorita tenemos que investigar el cadáver. Ah, cierto. La bola, la petanca. Y encontramos esto. Rebuscando en el sótano encontramos una petanca. O una bola de pesas. Que podemos dársela de reemplazo a los viejitos. Y además preguntar por la foto de René. Ya leeré tu libro de cacatúas, señora. ¿Qué pasa?
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right?
Cabo resuelto.
Cracked it. All in a good day's work.
Espera, ¿qué dice que resulta exactamente?
What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is.
Es su esposo desaparecido.
Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class woman. Protect and serve, recruit.
Dame champán y me apunto.
There's no need for champagne when there's honor, recruit. Go and tell the working class woman what you found.
Muy bien. Señor, encontré a tu esposo. Encontré a tu esposo.
God damn it, I already told you. My husband isn't missing.
Bueno, de todas formas lo he encontrado. Así de bueno soy.
Very well then. Where is he?
Está justo ahí.
Excuse me? I don't follow.
Me he topado con un trabajador borrachudo y he pensado que era igual que el tuyo.
Right, 'cause working class women come with alcoholic husbands. You know what?
No, ¿qué?
You were right. I do have an alcoholic husband. Although not that one.
¿No es él?
Ah, blam. Knew it.
Ay, autoridad se equivocó entonces. Pero me ha dicho que tu marido estaba bien.
I did, and he is. He's also an alcoholic.
Pero también ha desaparecido.
No, he's not. Or maybe he is, I don't know. He's probably in the park or in Shamrock somewhere, drinking with his friends.
Vale, señora.
I haven't seen him for... Well, to hell with him.
Kim, es cosa mía, estamos en caso de una persona desaparecida.
I wouldn't be so sure. Man, just to be completely clear, do you want to report it to the police?
Report what? He's just out drinking with his friends. I'm sure the police has better things to do than to chase down local goofballs.
En absoluto. La Menserry siempre está dispuesta a perseguir a cualquier guandul que haga falta. Nos preocupamos por ti.
She sighs, but you can detect a slight hint of gratitude and relief from her face.
All right, go ahead. Do you have any questions?
¿Qué aspecto tiene tu marido?
Honestly, not that different from you.
Entonces, ¿es un alcohólico en las últimas?
That's one way to put it, yes. No offense. I'd also add he's a little bit chubby.
¿Qué más?
What else? He was wearing a dark brown leather jacket with a bright blue inner lining. The lining is hand-sewn. I made it myself. It's his cool jacket. God knows it's too cold to run around in this, but he refuses to change.
Who cares about the cold when you have your cool jacket to wear? You can completely sympathize.
I even tried throwing it away once, but he just dug it out of the bin. Can you believe it?
Bueno, si es su chaqueta favorita, pueden venderlo.
Well, what can you do? I hope that at least that extra lining helps him keep warm at night.
¿Cuándo fue la
I
última vez
wouldn't
que lo
like him to
vistes?
catch cold. Yesterday morning, he went to the library. He went to retrieve my book, and he promised he'd walk straight back home. Because we talked about this. We talked about not wandering off again. I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do with his addiction. Just makes me feel weak.
Harry, espero que te estés escuchando.
She turns away from you in an attempt to recover.
Gracias, eso es todo.
So you are going to look for him.
She genuinely wants you to know. Don't make her ask.
Sí, lo trae de vuelta a casa.
Thank you. Please do. Even though I'm sure he will return home by himself. I'm still sure of that.
Ay, señora.
She tries to maintain a brave front, even though her eyes reveal the opposite.
I'm sure he will too. When he does, would you let Precinct 57, Kim Kitsuragi, know?
I will. Of course, officer. As I said, it's probably nothing.
Gracias, me pondré en marcha. Ay, señora. Y esta es una de las razones por las cuales rechacé ir a ser psicólogo de parejas. Y prefiero quedarme en una organizacional. Ah, la esperanza y esperanza de los maridos. Aquí tengo la linterna que es incómodo. A ver, joven.
We are still waiting for a replacement for the bull you sent sinking.
Y aquí la tienes. Toma.
What is this? Are you mocking us? This isn't for pétanque.
Now, no need to get angry again, René. I'm sure the officer tried his best. It's not like there's a bull kiosk here in Martinez.
Lo siento mucho, es lo mejor que podía encontrar.
The best, huh? This isn't even a bull. But fine. I guess you did attempt to right your hooliganism. Consider it forgiven.
Vamos, René, no seas malo, pues. He hecho lo que podía. Me lo encontré de casualidad, pero bueno. René, me he topado con su garita.
Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you.
Espero que me pueda decir algo de los movimientos que pasan dentro del sindicato.
I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
Debe haber visto algo de la noche del asesinato. Su garita da directamente al patio.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
Ah, carambas. ¿Y por qué estás con permiso?
It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation.
Lo siento.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man who'd rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, sick it.
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just going to cut back on coffee.
René, lo siento por tomar tu medicina. Lo siento mucho, lo siento de verdad. Entonces, ¿quién está trabajando esa noche?
No one. The bus has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officers. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before, René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
Mayormente decorativo. Oye, Gastón, ¿no suenas un poco hiriente para el pobre René?
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
Tal vez lo haga por la figura nada más. Por la figura de decir que se lleva bien con los revolucionarios. No tiene nada de malo. No creo que digas eso. René no es nada más que un hombre. Necesitamos un programa, reinsertar todos los chinos en el mercado laboral. Mantenerlos motivados.
Look, officer, can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now?
Había una foto. Salía una chica en ella. ¿Quién es ella?
She is nobody. This is none of your concern, and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Vale. Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu.
Yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
Ay, René. Vi la estatua de Felipe III cerca de la rotonda.
Ah, yes! King Philip III, on his steed. A reminder of what Revachol once was.
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who emptied the treasury so he could sleep on a bed of gold.
Cocaine? Cocainum? Sounds like our kind of king. And just imagine what kind of cocaine a king would have...
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king. Someone who knows how to rule.
Había de hecho algo sobre cocaína.
Oh, old Philip was a big fan of the purple nose candy the nobility loved so much. A cocaine connoisseur of sorts. His egocentricity is borderline legendary.
You can't even take responsibility for yourself. How could you fathom the responsibility weighing on the shoulders of a ruler?
Oh.
That's why the Philippian kings use cocaine, for clarity of vision, to aid in their work. Regnum cocainum, Revachol's finest years.
Electroquímica sería un excelente soldado de la revolución.
I'm satisfied with this explanation.
Lo sabría.
Of course. Clarity of vision. Awareness.
Philip III was even brought into this world with the help of cocaine. The court made him administer the dose to his mother when she was in labor, and it is well known that with the help of cocaine, only the purest, of course, he was able to connect with higher realms.
Si la cocaína es usada para fines médicos, no digo que esté mal. Pero para el completamente responsable de un monarca, los consumidores de drogas no deberían ni siquiera operar maquinaria pesada y mucho menos gobernar países.
From what I've seen of the officers of the RCM... But I don't want to get into a debate about drug policies.
Hablemos de otra cosa.
Right.
Gracias por su tiempo. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Este es instinto? ¿Comunicación?
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your copo type.
¿Qué vale? ¿Qué clase de policía soy?
Guess.
Casi esperaba ser el superestrella.
That is only a ludicrous daydream. Guess again. You're the...
Superestrella.
That is only a ludicrous daydream. Guess again. You're the...
Policía Chachi.
No, you're the sorry cop. The cop who's sorriest. Let's make it official then, shall we?
No. Pues, ¿sabes qué? No lo siento. He cambiado de opinión.
No, you don't. Come on. You'll be back to saying sorry in 2 minutes. Stop wasting time and begin the repentance.
Te estoy diciendo que no. Zafa de acá.
Wow. Okay. Fuck off. Maybe we were wrong about you then. Anti-object task force. Behold, the anti-object task force has assembled. God's avenging angel, arrayed against the lower emanations of the darkened one. Shoe racks, tape recorders, motor carriages, and doors. So many doors. You're not just pounding it all to pieces. You're reforging the universe, from the anvil of the heavens to the worms below. Indulge in it. Be bold. Have an impact on the
El destructor. A ver, ¿qué tenemos? Muy bien, subimos un punto en constitución. El dolor está súper potenciado. Ahora sí, debería aguantar un par de golpes. Pero bueno, es tiempo de ver al cuerpo.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots.
Mundo interior, ¿verdad? Mundo interior. Y tengo algo más que me suba a mundo interior. No. Vamos para allá.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants
Dime
and
un
white
muerto.
boots.
¿Quién eres?
His skin is marbled with I'm gone.
Oh, de verdad me habla. He conectado con el hombre ahorcado. ¿A dónde te has ido?
Into the wild pale yonder.
¿Dónde está eso?
In the past. Way out in the west.
No puedo abrir el maldito compartimiento en mi portapapeles. ¿Por qué te digo esto?
The blue heart. Oh, that's good shit. You'll love it. Just press down and fuck it open like you always do. Fuck it hard. Copopo the clown.
Este me da miedo.
He means force. It'll work.
Veo que te has ido, pero ¿quién eres?
I'm a joke. Look at me.
Ahora sí que lo eres, pero ¿de quién eras cuando estabas vivo?
A killer. A motherfucker. And a killer.
Takes one to know one.
Tengo que hacerte esta pregunta.
Go ahead, Cobo.
¿Qué está pasando?
What do you mean?
Pues que estoy hablando contigo.
It's the power of your imagination.
Oh, claro, por supuesto.
Go ahead. Ask me more questions. You fucking love questions.
¿Por qué me encantan tanto las preguntas?
Because you're a copperoonie. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions?
Sí, dame más.
Here you go, you loony.
Me llamo lunático.
Fuck no. You're no Rooney.
Es obvio que no me llamo lunático.
Between you and me, your name is probably Harry.
Últimamente me he llevado Harry bastante.
You might be onto something there.
Porque siento que he olvidado algo terrible.
Because you have.
Te odio, apestas y aburres.
Do I remind you of someone?
Una criatura de las profundidades.
No, not quite. Be fair now.
A mí mismo, en el espejo del baño.
There you go. Look at that bright kid. We're birds of a feather, you and I. Soon you will be just like me.
Feeling nausea, vomiting, tenderness or pain around the liver area, tiny red lines on the skin above waist level, more like days, Coppo. The clock is ticking. Your
Vamos,
liver
más
tells you
preguntas.
so.
Dame más
Because
preguntas. Dame una cantidad de
you're a
preguntas.
coming right up. Rooney.
¿Quién te mató?
This love did me in, Brother Copo. It was love all along.
Fue el amor. Te mató el amor. Te mató el amor. Así que te mató el amor. ¿Puedes hacerme tú una pregunta?
Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question.
¿Por qué haces esto?
Why are you doing this?
¿El qué?
Looking at my face, motionless. Looking into my eyes. Standing here. Why are you investigating my murder?
Quizás esto nos lleve a algo indescriptible, imprevisto o tal vez milagroso.
Something is on its way. Something hidden. It's coming. A miracle from the northwest, and it's almost here. You can feel it in the air, on your hands. The cold spring air smoothing them over.
Es suficiente.
Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Hay algo que necesito saber sobre el hombre cadáver.
Of course. You have quit.
No.
Come back later,
No con examen
Corpo.
preliminar, bajémoslo de ahí.
Amuse.
The steel-reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belt. The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting the airship strength material.
Tal vez podemos bajarlo en un disparo.
Yeah! Bang bang time, pig! Shoot his head off!
How?
Where the buckle ties the rope to the branch. That's a good spot to aim.
La hebilla afina la cinta entera.
Where? Ah, yes, I see. If the shot hits that, there might be a chance to release the belt.
Yeah, now we're talking. Entertain a Kuno with some shit.
They'll miss! The pigs will miss Kuno!
The lieutenant is undecided. On one hand, he wants to shoot some gun. On the other, it's an awfully stupid idea.
Dispare, teniente. ¿Qué podría salir mal?
I'll blow his head off.
Claro.
Take it! Take the shot!
Yeah, take the shot.
Silence. With his elbow sharp, and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks.
Ay, Kim. Tira los dados. Suerte, Kim.
He then steps back and assumes the fellow's test position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on the trigger.
No decir nada.
He's gonna fucking miss!
The chick's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the...
God damn it.
Fucking idiot!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he?
No pasa nada, hombre.
Kuno's sorry too. Kuno...
The lieutenant doesn't say a word, just looks at the gun in his hand.
¿Y ahora qué?
I have to say, it's beginning to look unlikely we can get him down without assistance.
¿Me prestas tu arma? Quiero intentarlo.
It's bad as it is. Us shooting firearms like punks. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you. Just don't lose it.
Lo hubiera intentado yo creo primero. Pobre King.
They only have one gun.
This is the sorriest pair of pigs Kuno's ever seen.
Yeah, take it, you fucking banani poika. Take it and shoot yourself in the mouth.
Sentir el peso del arma.
The cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. Your fingers fit right through the guard, instinctively resting on the...
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno? Tell him to shoot himself in the mouth.
Kuno is silent. Aggression gathers in the air. The trigger feels delicate and ready to break under your finger.
Sí, apuntar a la cinta.
The buckle comes into focus in your sights. You stand with your feet planted firmly in the ground and your left hand supporting your gun arm.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your fucking mouth? At least you won't miss.
Ojo humano. Coordinación ojo humano. Coordinación ojo humano. Apretar el gatillo. Vamos. Es el tiro más importante de todos. No lo puedes fallar. Vamos. 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 ¡Ay! Maldita sea.
A plume of smoke erupts from the barrel. Your hand goes numb from the explosion. You missed the belt, but hit the corpse straight in the chest. Bits of ribcage protrude from...
Oh my god, he's gonna fucking cry. I knew it. What?
Ask for another shot. You'll get it with the next one. The goddamn light reflected off some window.
¿Puedo recargarla?
Sure.
Por favor, necesito otro disparo.
The cadaver is already compromised bad enough. We don't...
It came out wrong. You made it sound like you're some sort of roulette addict looking
Por
for a
favor, King.
fix.
Déjame
Ask
intentar
again.
recuperar
There
uno.
is silence.
Victor wants to fuck up again bad.
No quiero seguir con este rollo. Es un rollo.
I agree. Police work is overrated. It is trying and stressful. However...
It's not the gun's fault you can't shoot. It's
Pigs don't have hands. They
Ay,
have
Kuno
like
ese.
fucking...
Kuno has hands. Kuno can shoot that shit down for you.
No te seas ridículo. No te podemos hablar, chico.
That's preposterous. What are you, fucking up?
We still need to get him down, somehow. The bad way. The way I didn't want us to. By asking the harbor for help. They have the tools and the men.
Maldita
If
sea.
they put him up there, they can take him down too.
Maldita sea. El tiro más importante y lo fallamos. Y eso que le di 2 malditos puntos. Bueno, ya encontramos una forma de entrar en el puerto.
Hooray for us.
Pero ¿no será peligroso?
To ask the suspects for help with the victim's body? To be indebted to Everard Clare? Very much, yes. Which is why I would have preferred us. Clearly we can't.
Suck my dick, bitch.
Ay, maldición. No quiero hablar con... Tenemos que hacerlo con un maldito favor si vamos a hablar con ese tarado. Terminemos con el maldito favor de una vez y vayámonos. Me decía que había una especie de sótano. Estaba por acá. Maldita sea. Digo que sea ya por el otro que me dijo Kuno, no, que no era ese lugar de ahí. Ay, maldito mocoso. ¿Qué es esto?
The spread pattern of these bullet holes makes your chest ache. Your breath grows
Son
heavier.
disparos de
More
fusilamiento.
old bullet holes. Half a century at least. From the revolution.
Examinarlo detalladamente.
You peer into the faded marks in the stone. They peer back like an endless row of tiny black holes. Your chest feels tight looking at them. It's closing in, caving in.
You okay there?
Sí, estoy bien.
You were looking pale there for a second. What are you looking at?
¿Por qué tantos agujeros aquí? He visto mucho por aquí.
Remnants from the revolution. These are over half a century old.
Entonces, ¿hay algo que debamos hacer sobre esto?
No, we are not constructors and renovators. And these bullet holes do not warrant an investigation.
Bien, pero ¿qué me puedes más contar de la revolución?
Not much. I don't have a...
Vale. Me voy a morir unas
This
veces.
must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head.
Este es el lugar de la comadreja. Abramos la puerta. Llamaron.
You knock silently. The
I guess no one is in.
Teniente, ¿qué opinas sobre lo que estamos a punto de hacer?
Let's be honest. This isn't what I joined the RCM for, but every day tells you something new about yourself. Apparently, working with the local union boss to get info on an investigation is not something I'm squeamish about.
Entendido.
The lieutenant merely nods in response.
Poner el oído contra la puerta.
The door is slick with rain. You don't hear any movement inside. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you.
Usemos la llave.
No, you try to be as silent as you can. Finally, the door unlocks. As you hold the open door, you can feel the air moving. A little draft, a whistle.
Y creo que vamos a guardarlo aquí. Y el próximo episodio voy a ir a la farmacia a comprarme medicinas porque me voy a punto de morir. Maldición. Todo este pueblo me está matando. Pero lo que más me mató fue de esto, la coordinación. ¿Cómo las pude fallar? ¿Cómo? No había nada que sobre coordinación, mano. Era mi mejor intento. Bueno, eso es todo por ahora. Gracias por ver, gente.